Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And as y'all seen by the title, today we'll be talking about a messy drama filled story time. And y'all, this one is tea. But before we get into any video, let's go ahead and get into the word of the day. And y'all, I actually have two for y'all today. Make it real fast since I have two. When we want something so bad and it's just like obstacle. I feel like honestly that's just God trying to like test us. I was actually talking about this with my hubby last night. I don't mind me. I don't got my ring on today, but it's never not that. But yeah, so I was honestly just talking to him about it last night, and I was like, you know what, sometimes I don't feel like I'm where I want to be at, whether it's like anything, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a super over ambitious person, so when it feels like what I'm trying to do is not working, it kind of like gets to me, like my mood, my feelings, like I just kind of get really low. I was looking at it like, you know what, maybe this isn't what God has aligned for me, or maybe it's something that I'm still learning, to why there's still like things blocking me from what I'm trying to get to. And that kind of go hand in hand with the second one that I wanted to talk about. And you feel like you're still stuck in something. Ultimately, is God just testing you to see, like, have you learned what I've been teaching you to get what you want? I'm going to just keep it sweet, cut short, all that. So that's the word of the day. And then let's go ahead and get into the story time. So y'all, this happened my senior year of high school. Yes, y'all remember how in my other story times how I was telling y'all how I ended up moving high schools because my crazy ex, my loco ex, tried to unalive me, and I chose me. Like, I had to leave. And how I hated the school, or I don't think I really said hated, but I just did not like the school. So yeah, that's what happened. So going back into the story time, I had left my school that I went to for 3-4 years technically, and the middle, or almost like the beginning turned into the middle of senior year, I ended up leaving. So one, everybody was looking at me crazy. They was like, why would you leave, your school that you've been going to for so long? And y'all, I do want to note, my school was a career school. It was like you had to have like a good GPA to get into the school, not no regular. You had to have at least like 3.6 or something to get into the school. And with that, you can pick your career choice, and then when you graduate, you have a certificate. So it's kind of like college, high school, if that makes sense. Like, they kind of just like get you set. So I was really bummed. Like, obviously, with me saying that, I worked really hard for 4 years to get the certificate with the career that I wanted. And I had to leave all that behind because, y'all, I wanted to live. Like, I'm sorry, I chose me, right? So when I got to my new school, right, the one that I graduated from, I was kind of like optimistic, if that makes sense. I was like, you know what, maybe this is gonna be good for me, when it wasn't like such a far drive from my house. It was literally 5 minutes down the road, and it was like a neighborhood school. So yeah, like, honestly, I just wanted to meet new people, and I was excited for the experience, but I was still bummed because I was like, damn, I low-key miss my old school. So, yeah, so rolling into the story time, I had two teachers that gave me hell my senior year. At this new school, I had my English teacher and I had my math teacher. Now, the dude that we're talking about, the teacher we talking about, is my math teacher. So, little backstory on my senior year schedule. When I was a junior leading up to whatever, I worked really hard to make sure I only had like 1 to 2 classes. I was not playing that. Senior year, I just wanted to focus on prom, homecoming, grad bash, and like whatever the fuck else I wanted to focus on. I didn't want to go to class. I didn't want no extra stuff. So given that, I think I had 5 classes. I had my mandatory classes like English, math, and science, I believe. And then I had like an elective. I don't know. They told me I had to have an elective. I ended up getting it off my schedule because what? And then I have lunch. Lunch is like the 5th, like, Y'all, if the camera like move or it look a little different, it's because my phone keep turning off. Like, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, so rolling into the story time, right? Now, y'all, let me give like a little backstory on this school. So this school was like completely different from what I was ever used to, y'all. Like my old school, every day became hard. Every day was like a fashion show. We dressed up like that was just my culture. So going from that to the school that you wake up and you just put pajamas on and you just like, and basically you just didn't put any effort into like your outfit or like, you know, how you present yourself. So that was kind of like a culture shock for me. So guarantee that, y'all, all my outfits coming to that school was like all dressed up, because I wasn't gonna throw out my dressed up clothes just because I'm at this new school that don't really prioritize how they look. Like, no, I'm not doing that. Nor was I gonna go out and get new clothes. Like, that was just dead. So y'all, everybody used to look at me like, oh, like, you know what I mean? Like, dang, like, she's T, like, why is she always so dressed up? But anytime I would tell them like what school I came from, they used to always be like, oh. And one weird thing I realized about this school was everybody that went to that school really fucking wanted to go to my old school. Like, they always used to been like, dang, I applied but I never got in and all this yap. So when they always used to be like, oh, so why did you come here? And I wasn't telling them my business. Like, I wasn't telling them why I came to the school that I went to, especially coming from like the school that I came from. I kind of just brushed it off every time. I really didn't give them an answer for real. So with that, I kind of got like a lot of popularity from just coming from the school, just like going to the school. I did not know that was a thing. Like, that was crazy. So yeah, anywho, I go to my math class. This is the first day of school. I go to my math class, and I'm going to just describe this teacher for y'all, okay? So he's bare belly, so a big Santa Claus belly. He actually kind of looked like Santa Claus with white hair, a beard, and yeah, like that. Just think of Santa Claus. Matter of fact, we don't call him Santa Claus. Santa Claus, I kind of realized that he was really like sarcastic. He was like one of those like sarcastic, rude, passive aggressive people. Like, I'm not gonna say teacher, people, like person, like him. That was just his personality all around. So when he had seen me, y'all, I carried a purse in school. I did carry a purse for fashion. Like I said, that's what I was used to. Like, it was no girl at my old school carrying a damn book bag, or if it was a book bag, it was like a really cute like designer book bag or like cute book bag. So I had a purse, and it was like new too. Like, yeah, I was definitely not gonna miss my opportunity to wear my purse. So when he seen that I had a purse, that kind of like irritated him for some reason. Like, he was like, and why do you have a purse? Like, you're supposed to have a book bag. This is a school, not the mall. You're not going anywhere else. Always like nitpicking. And I was like, well, I mean, it's my purse. Like, you gonna get me a book bag? And I was kind of like rude back to him, because you don't know me, and this is the first day in your class, and this is how you're approaching me already. So yeah, that was my first impression on him. And I would say over like 2 more weeks, he started warming up to me. I realized like, okay, like maybe he isn't a bitch. Maybe he isn't just an asshole. Maybe that's just one of his like personality characteristic that I have to get used to. Like, I remember like the first time that he ever tried to like hit on me or like say anything to me, I was wearing a dress, right, y'all? So I'm wearing a dress. I got my toes out, period, and I got my purse, and my hair stayed done, because who finna go to school looking a mess? So I remember he came in and he was like, oh, Christelle, you're looking really good today.
Yeah, and I do want to know, all the other outfits I was wearing, it wasn't like as tight fitting, right? So in the past, I was wearing like jeans and shorts and stuff like that. And the one time that I wore a dress and it actually shaped my figure, this was like the first time he ever gave me a compliment. So obviously he was like attracted to what the fuck he seen.
And I was like, oh, thank you, because, you know, I love a good compliment. Thank you. Like, I put effort into my look, so thank you for appreciating my look. So I'm thinking nothing of it, and, you know, the class go on. So I just realized, like, the whole time in the class, he's kind of just, like, always, like, eyeing me and stuff, and I'm just, like, awkward. Like, I'm really good with, like, eye contact, I know that might make some people nervous, or not everyone is like me, but when someone is like speaking, especially like someone like a teacher or a professor, or like, you know, anyone who like has the stage, I'm like really big on eye contact. So I just always looked at him because I mean, what the fuck, I'm trying to hear what you're talking about. So he used to just always stare at me, like always like catch, I used to always like catch him like looking at me like in a, like, you know, a seducing way, if that makes sense. That like, you know, like he's trying to like flirt with his eyes.
And that day, whenever I went to like get something like in the class, whether it was like the paperwork that he was assigning us or going to the bath, like anything that y'all can think of that required me moving, I always caught him like looking at me, and it kind of creeped me out because it was like he was trying to do it in like a discreet way, but also not. Like, it was just such a fucking uncomfortable feeling.
If you know, you know. I don't know how else to describe that. So anytime I would get that from him, I would kind of like look away because it started getting a little like uncomfortable, and that was never my intention. So I would say like a few more of like those type of like interactions had went by, y'all. And at this point I was like living by myself, right? And it wasn't like a, oh, I'm just gonna live by myself and not give a fuck type of thing, y'all. I was living by myself and I caught the flu. If y'all keep up with my story times, y'all know like the timing and the person who I was with at that time. So yeah, I caught the flu and I was at home taking care of myself. You know, I didn't really have my mom there or like anybody there for me.
I said it's so mean. It's not that my mom didn't want to be there. She was out of the country at the time and she wasn't able to come back. So that's what I meant with no one took care of me. And also, I was telling my mom about what was going on at school. And until like it got to the end of the story, that's when everything really like got big, and you know, she really like handled it, if that makes sense.
And y'all, I've never had the flu before a day in my life. So imagine like how overwhelming that was for me. Like my first time and I was alone. Y'all, I couldn't even sleep right. I couldn't talk. I couldn't see. I couldn't eat. I could like the only thing that satisfied me was like bathing with eucalyptus. Am I saying that right? Just like in the shower. Like that was the only time that I felt okay. And that was just like, that would be like a here and there type of thing. So with that, I had missed like a week of school. So when I finally had returned to school, I wasn't even feeling good, y'all. My flu lasted for like 2 weeks, going on to like 3. And I just got up because I was like, I can't like not go to school. You know what I mean? Like it's my senior year. Attendance is still a thing and I still need to like show up for whatever he got going on. So that's what I was doing. So I got up and I threw like, I still look good. Like I still threw like decent clothes on because like I said, I only had good things. So he seen me and then, you know, off rip, he was like, well, where were you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, and I remember him saying this comment like, oh, where were you? I missed you. Like, the class missed you, the class missed you. And he responded like that after I looked at him kind of funny because what do you mean you missed me? Like, that's kind of a little sus. So yeah. He basically ended up like kind of like trying to save himself, basically saying like, oh, you know, the class missed you. It just didn't feel right not having my students here, all my students here. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I just have the flu. I still currently have the flu. And yeah, I just don't feel good. So he was like, well, is there anything that I can do to help you? Do you have people like with you? Like, you know, are you gonna need type of assistance? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, because y'all, the way that I did put it, it was like I'm trying to take care of myself. So I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of why he took it that far, basically saying like, oh, do I need to help you? Do you need any assistance? You know what I mean? Like, I'm here for you. Basically trying to consult me. And y'all, you know, we have school counselors, you know what I mean, who care for you and be like, oh, like, we're here for you and all that. So I just thought it was like one of those speeches. But I kind of had like this eerie feeling like maybe it's not just like one of those like speeches. Like maybe it's like something really weird and he really kind of do have like malicious, like bad intent. I'm gonna say this. Y'all, at this school, when I first came to the school, I used to be friends with Macy. Y'all remember Macy? So Macy actually went to the school. And I've heard like a lot of like T per se. T basically saying that, you know, the teachers at the school did have sex with their students. So when I heard that, everything kind of just like settled for me, if that makes sense. Everything kind of just like made sense to why I, you know, felt so uncomfortable, and like the weird feelings that I was getting behind every sentence or everything that he was saying. So yeah, that kind of like solidified my feeling, and I kind of just was like, yeah, I'm glad that I went with my intuition every time, basically like rejecting any of his like advances. But yeah, I just want to note that like this school was like big on teachers having sex with the students, and they were very big on like keeping secrets and stuff. And I definitely can say the whole staff at that school was fucking corrupt. I can definitely say that, because even the dean, y'all, let me tell y'all, this is a separate story time, but I just want to like put it in perspective. Y'all, I was at Dollar General, and I was getting like some stuff for the house or whatever, and I had seen the dean at my school. Tell me why he started following me, and he started like shouting my name, and he was like, oh my God, you look so good outside of school. And he literally followed me aisle by aisle by aisle. Like, it was so fucking uncomfortable, to the point where I had called somebody, and I was like, yeah, I think he's following me, and like, you know, just out him out. And then he like ran off. And I'm not gonna lie, he was like real fucking petty the whole school year, like every time he seen me, because they were also like really big on like structure and discipline, like you couldn't be out your class and just all this bullshit. So anytime he would see me, he would try to like write me up or send me to detention. But luckily I was locked in with like one good teacher that will always like cover for me. So thank God to that. But yeah, it was just like a really fucking weird ass environment. Predator ass environment. That's what I really should freaking say. So anywho, yeah, so after a while, y'all, I kind of did get like really uncomfortable with this teacher, with Mr. With Santa Claus like making advances on me and stuff. And he used to get like really freaking like annoyed with me. I do want to say that, because after like a month or so of him like doing everything that I've been like saying to y'all, he kind of was just like aggravated at the fact that I wasn't like feeding into him. So anytime that I would like talk to my classmates, and talking about like the boy classmates, that anytime I would talk to like my boy classmates, he would get like super mad and like call me out, and he would like always be like, Crystal, you do not need to be talking. You do not need to be talking. This doesn't require you talking to your classmates. And it will kind of be like super uncomfortable, because he will always kind of like low-key try to like isolate me because I wasn't speaking to him. And that's kind of when I realized that, okay, like maybe he did feel some ways. Like, y'all know, like them toddlers or like adult baby men really, that they feel some way when you reject them. Like, he did not take good to that rejection. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So anytime I would like talk to my classmates, or you know, be on Instagram, or like taking a video, like y'all know how y'all take a cute video in class or whatever, or look cute, he used to just always have like slick remarks to say, oh, there's no need to be taking a video. Anytime that I came in, you know, dressed up and stuff, why do you have that on? This is a school. I should report you. I should give you detention. I should have you sent home.
Y'all, he never had an issue with anything that I wore before. And anytime that I wore something like curvy or like, you know, bodycon, let's just say bodycon, but there was like jeans, shorts, leggings, anything, y'all, anything, he will always like it and always compliment me. Oh, your outfit looks good today and all of that. But now that I don't want to talk to you, and I'm not trying to like be into that creepy ass shit, pedophilia ass shit, you're mad and you want to give me detention.
Because there's no need to be all that dressed up. So it kind of became like compliments to insulting, like that, like his rejection was like fucking with him. And y'all, to the point where this teacher, he honestly started failing me because I did not like, I wasn't interested in him, because I wasn't like flirting back with him or wanting to, you know, have eggs with him. He started failing me. And I'm gonna tell y'all how petty he was. He literally started giving us like homework, but he made the homework like quiz. I don't know if that makes sense. So basically, he would trick you like, oh, you have homework. You're supposed to do your homework. Make sure that it's done, you know, the whole protocol. Make sure it's done by tomorrow. So he would say that to us and me. Sometimes I forgot homework. Like, not everybody do their fucking homework. So he used to be like, all right, turn your homeworks in, turn your homeworks in. And anytime he realized that I didn't have my homework to turn in, he would be like, well, joke's on y'all, the ones Christelle, he'll always call me out. The ones Christelle who didn't turn their work in, this was actually a quiz and you failed. So he started doing little things like that, like maliciously, to fail me. And I do want to note this, y'all. This guy was like infamous on saying, I am the teacher. I am in control. And he used to always look me dead in my eye. He was like, if I don't feel satisfied, if I feel like you're not doing the right thing or the grade isn't right or you're not behaving, I will fail you. I'm the teacher here. And he wasn't scared. Like, he always repeated that. He always said that to us, like, he's a teacher, he has authority, and if you don't do what he wants or what he desires, he's going to fail you. And that indeed he did. Y'all, when I tell y'all I came to this 4.2 GPA, right? And I was heading to 4.7 at my last school, right? I left this school with a 3 point, almost 2.9. I swear to God, y'all. I swear. Because this teacher worked so hard to fail me. So I remember we used to do like quiz or homeworks and stuff. And let me tell you how petty he was. I write my name like Christelle and with my last name. And I just put the initial of my last name, right? So what he used to do was grade our homework or our quiz. And he used to be like, 4 points off for not writing your full last name. When I tell y'all he did that, every fucking paper that I turned in, that man sat there and said, oh, you have 4 point off for not writing your full last name. That's not the name that you go by. Your last name is a letter J. I said, wow. Like, that, like, he was dead ass for real. Dead ass fucking for real. And I failed. Every homework, every quiz that he gave me, y'all, I started feeling like I was so fucking slow because I just did not comprehend. I did not understand how I wasn't getting this work.
So, y'all, I reacted really calm in the video to the last name thing, but that shit definitely pissed me off. And I told everybody about it, the principal, every fucking body that you can think about. I told them. I told my mother. I told everyone, and they all were like, except my mom, like the school, right? They all were like, well, that's not your last name. And they all rallied up for this guy. I was like, what the fuck? Like, no other class do this shit. No other teacher is sitting here and saying, oh, you get 4 points off or 6 points off, like whatever points off for not writing your full last name. That was just his petty way of like trying to fail me. And I definitely do feel like he rigged my paper, like erased some shit or something. Because I would cheat on my homework and still get it wrong. Like, how is that possible?
To the point where, y'all, I went to Walmart and I got one of those smart calculators who just, you could type in the whole problem and solve it. Even with that shit, it still wasn't right. So I know for a fact that he was like taking my work and like putting in other answers or some shit. I don't know. Or maybe I had a different paper. I don't know what the fuck the nigga was doing, but he was doing everything in his power to fail me. And that indeed I did. So y'all, imagine going from a AB student, period. AB student all your high school life, having great relationships with your teachers to the point where your last teachers at your old school was begging you not to leave. Begging you not to leave. To going to FD, FD, FFD. Imagine that, y'all. And he wasn't the only teacher that did this either. I do want to note that my English teacher, she was a bitch too, but I passed that class. I wasn't really tripping. She did aggravate me, but I wasn't tripping. So yeah, I ended up having to do credit repair because he decided, because he couldn't have, you know, X with me, he wanted to fail me and be very petty towards me, and basically kind of just like abuse his power in every way that he could. I know that wasn't a really detailed story time, y'all. I really do hope it was still interesting, because I mean, it's still something like crazy to look at. And if y'all going through anything like, sorry, side note, y'all. If y'all going through anything like this, please look up student rights, because I'm just now learning about student rights. And wait till I get out of this fucking school. I'm going to give y'all all the tea. I'm going to give y'all all the tea. But yeah, if you're going through anything similar, make sure you look up student rights, and please make sure you tell someone who, you know, is going to protect you and that you trust. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. I mean, I still passed. I was bummed because it was so much loss during senior year, but I mean, I'm still here, I'm still alive, I'm still thriving, so that's worth every penny. Well, that's worth every tear that I shed from going through that whole experience. And yeah, y'all, please don't be out here having sex with y'all teachers. Don't be doing that. And even if they fail you, you gonna still make it, y'all. When I tell y'all I finished 2 class, I should have did credit repair the whole time I was there, or did like online classes or something, because I finished 2 classes in 1 week. So I was going through all that hell just to finish the whole class, those whole 2 classes in 1 week, and not have to worry about nothing. Ciao. But y'all, I love y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. And I'll make sure I get the story shit figured out so y'all can have longer, more juicy videos. Honestly, anytime I started getting into it, the camera cut off, so that was kind of aggravating. If my energy seems low, I got my lashes done again, and I took my hair out. Y'all liking the vibes? I'm actually getting ready to go to school. Let me tell y'all my business. But I love y'all. I'll see y'all in the next video.